All right, check. Okay, here we go. Now audio works. Got the audio. All right, good morning. Sorry, just had to double check the audio this morning. I see no one has joined us yet, so I'm just going to talk to myself. All right, good morning. Hello. The live chat should be open. Just want to make sure it is. The live chat should be open, so if you want to send your questions in, you can. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes to see if anyone's going to join us this morning for our check-in and update. This will be the first time I'm streaming live from YouTube only. Normally I'll do Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but I want to start engaging our folks in our YouTube channel for various reasons. But for right now, it's just so I can hang out on one platform. Good morning, everyone tuning in. I'm going to let everyone know that I'm live on YouTube. All right. Good morning. The live chat should be open. I'm not sure why I cannot see it. Oh, I don't want that. Let's see if I can view the live chat. Hello. All right. Hopefully I can see any questions that come in. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining me. I know anyone who plays this back is not going to be concerned about whether or not the folks were live. I see we've got 4 folks with us this morning. So good morning and thank you for joining me. For those of you who are watching the playback later on our channel, thanks for tuning in. I'm now 3 minutes in, so hopefully you fast forwarded it just a little bit. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes, really for any of our new parents who are out there who've never been to Thomasdale before, and this is their child's first year at Thomasdale, to give you a little bit of information about our school, some things that we're about, so that you can feel a little bit more oriented to our school. All right. So anyways, my name is Chris Jones. I am the proud principal of Thomasdale High School. I consider myself to be one of the most fortunate human beings on the planet because I get to serve in this role. I get to serve our school community. I get to serve our students, and I get to work with some really amazing people, probably the most amazing people on the planet. And that includes our leadership team, our faculty, our staff, our teachers, our counselors, our support staff, our clerical, our nurses, our bus drivers, our food services and cafeteria workers, our mental support staff, our school psychologists, school social worker, just our SROs, our security staff, just amazing people. And you will get to know all of them over the course of your time in our school community. As long as your child is a student at Thomasdale High School, you'll get to know some of that stuff better. The thing that I think about really when it comes to things that a new parent would really want to know. I think all parents, it's important as a parent myself, it's important as parents to know where you're sending your child for 7 hours a day. And we have a few things that we promise, and I've got 2 promises for you because I know these are the things that are most important on your mind. Number 1, my promise to you is that Thomasdale is a safe school. We are safe psychologically, physically, socially, emotionally. You are sending your child to a safe school. Number two, my promise to you is that your child is loved and cared for here at Thomas Dale by our leadership team, by our teachers, by our counselors, by our support staff, by our I mean, all those folks I was mentioning a moment ago. You are sending your child to a school where he or she will be loved and cared for. So I want to make sure that I say that up front, because I know those are the most important things that are on a parent's mind. First and foremost, about safety and belongingness and inclusion and love and access and opportunity, relationships and connection. We work extremely hard to create a school where our students, faculty, staff, and parents are rushing into as opposed to running away from, creating that welcoming environment and engaging environment where we're all connected. We've got structures in place where every student has at least one. I'm guessing they're going to have more than one, but at least one adult they connect with, so that they can go to that adult in their greatest time of need and or their greatest time of celebration. So that's a little bit about the type of environment that we're creating. If I've done my job, you've heard the slogan, every night, every day. It is much more than a clever play on words. I mean, we are the Thomas Dale Knights. And so every night, spelled with a K, every night, every day. What that means is that we take every student for who they are, their likes, their dislikes, their cultural norms, their social construct, their dreams, their goals, their strengths, their challenges. We take them for who they are, all that stuff, and we package it, and we design the high school experience around each student. And we do that 2,500 times over because that's how many students we have. And to do that, it takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of love, and a lot of expertise, because it happens intentionally. So what we promise our students is that when they graduate, they will have the necessary knowledge, skills, and dispositions they need to be successful in college, career, or contribution, no matter what path they choose post-graduation. We want to set them up for success so that the morning after they wake up from graduation, they're not thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do now? They have a very strong purpose, a very strong sense of identity, a rough sketch of a plan, at least a rough sketch, and hopefully a little bit stronger. We want to give them experiences and access and opportunities. We want to allow them to try things out while they're with us, so that they're not just out there kind of floundering when they graduate. They've got a pretty good idea of some next steps that they'll take. In order to do that, there are 5 things that we've got to be really, really good at. The first thing we got to do is create that environment. We call it our school culture. It's a positive, healthy, and joyful school culture that we're trying to create here. And we're well on our way to making that a place where all 2,500, because they're all so different. We know that our students are so different, so diverse. We have a diverse student body. But as time goes on and as generations develop and change, we find that their uniqueness is what makes them special and what makes them beautiful. And if we can create an environment where every single one of them feels included and every single one of them feels like they belong, then that's the kind of culture that we want to create. That's number one. Number two, we have to be really, really good at working together. We call that collaborative processes for school improvement. It's just a fancy way of saying working together to get good at getting good. So the more we work together and the stronger our processes are, with collaboration and working together, then we will continuously get better at what we do. Number three, it's our bread and butter. It's the core function of a school. It's high quality instruction. We want our students to be appropriately challenged, especially academically. But we aim that every single classroom has the highest quality instruction possible for the kids who are in the room. That's a very important distinction when we talk about teaching and learning. I do believe that every child deserves an expert teacher and every teacher deserves an expert administrator and coach. And so that's what we work towards with a growth mindset and a highly reflective practice. Number four, we aim to elevate student voice and provide opportunities to develop their leadership. So student voice and leadership, This is our students' school, and so they should have a seat at the table, and they should know how to respond when they have that seat, and to give that input, and for us to respond to their input. So giving opportunities for student voice, and then building in their leadership for development. When I think about leadership in school, it's a little bit about the future, but it's not developing the leaders of tomorrow. It's developing their leadership for now. Our students are leaders, and they're highly influential within our school. So let's give them some leadership tools and help them understand that. That will help them out in the future and down the road, but they're leaders now. So let's build their leadership. So that was number 4. And number 5 is family and community engagement. Small things like this, a live broadcast that will be archived for families and communities to engage. And so it's a two-way street. We've got to provide those opportunities for families and communities to be able to engage and to help us work through that culture, that collaborative process, that high quality instruction, that student voice and student leadership. So many, many opportunities for families and communities to engage. And then also, as we build those, we need families and communities to step into those opportunities. So we open the door and create the space. We just need you to enter and find where you fit. I'm kind of mixing metaphors here, but if we think about a bus, we've got to get the bus rolling. We bring you onto the bus, and then we got to make sure you're in the right seat so that you're fitting in to where you need. We have an important, I'm going to 2 more things real quick, and then I'm going to just talk quickly about what's on my mind for this school year. 2 things. Number 1, seminar. Seminar is the most important thing that we do. If you're familiar with old school structures or new school structures, like in elementary school, they do something called morning meeting. I think growing up, had homeroom. There's a period called advisory. So if you mix, those 3, and then you include a component of college, career, and contribution readiness, you mix those up and you've got seminar. When you're able to see your child's schedule, it will be homeroom. It'll be 0 block homeroom. That is where seminar lives in the schedule. When you see the schedule, it's called homeroom, but what we call it as a structure is seminar. And that is first and foremost, it's about relationships and connection. It's one teacher with 18 students grouped by grade level. And the teachers loop, except for 9th grade, because we do have a West campus and the 9th graders rotate every year. But once they get over here in 10th grade, when they pick up their seminar leader, they will be with that seminar leader and that group of students for 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. It's actually pretty cool. So relationships and connection, because we want every student to have at least one adult in our school that they can go to in their greatest time of need or greatest time of celebration. We also, by grade level, have different aspects of curriculum, and we call them readiness levels. So it's readiness to learn, readiness to live, readiness to work, readiness to thrive. So in 9th grade, we build in curricular aspects every week. It's every Wednesday for each grade level. But on Wednesday in 9th grade, they'll be learning readiness to learn skills. Skills like organization, time management, study skills, note-taking skills, self-efficacy. That stuff lives in there. Like how to be a student, readiness to learn. In 10th grade on the Wednesdays, it's readiness to live. And those are things like, being able to differentiate what's real and not real out there. So being able to do some research, decision-making, interpersonal skills, being able to be a social creature in the world. So that's the Wednesdays in 10th grade. In 11th grade, it's readiness to work. And we really dig into what we call our skills. And those are our 6 C's. And that's creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and connection. Those skills that the Virginia Department of Education, they call them the 5 C's, and Chesterfield has added a 6th called connection. Those are the skills that are very important to work and thrive in a work environment. So in 11th grade, it's readiness to work, and we really dive into those 6 C's. And then in 12th grade, it's readiness to thrive. So every Wednesday, we will be covering lessons on our 9 dispositions, and those 9 dispositions are grit, resilience, adaptability, risk-taking, compassion, humility, service, gratitude, empathy. Those are how we want our students to show up in the world when they graduate. It's good for them to be productive, and then it's also good for them to be just great human beings to other human beings in the world. So that's the structure there. And then So Monday, it's about that relationship and connection. Wednesday, it's about those readiness skills. I'll get into Fun Friday in a minute. On Tuesday and Thursday, this seminar teacher will meet with students in a one-on-one setting. In a 25-minute period of time, they might be able to get to 5 students. That's like a 5-minute check-in. Check on grades, check to make sure assignments are getting turned in, check on attendance, and then check on their well-being. How are you? Is there anything you need? Anyone I can connect you with? Or are things going okay with you? Just that relationship, that connection, that really checking on the whole child. So that's on Tuesday and Thursday. So the way it's structured is your child will have a one-on-one check-in, a 5-minute one-on-one check-in with their seminar teacher every 2 weeks. So that we're really, I don't like to use this expression, but it's the only thing that's coming to mind right now. Like with 2,500 students, the only way to deliver on the promise of every night, every day, and to prevent anyone slipping through the cracks, that's the expression I don't like, but it's what's coming to mind, is to break them up into smaller groups. And if we break up our 2,500 students into groups of 18 and we engage them, through seminar for 25 minutes every single day, we kind of prevent that from happening. And then for the rest of the day, when they're engaged and having strong relationships with all their teachers, it just wraps around and creates that school environment that it makes Thomasdale special. But number 2, it's the environment they need, and it's the environment they deserve so that they can get ready for what's next, life after high school, no matter what path they choose. So that's seminar. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is our career clusters. And we've done a really good job over the past 3 years of aligning our courses and our electives in a sequential manner that leads to something. You know what I mean? And so we've used the 17 career clusters, and we've created pathways within those career clusters for students to make, students and families, because it's a collaborative decision, to make really informed decisions about what classes that they're taking. So that it's working towards something. So if they have an interest, like, I think I want to be an engineer, let's take some sequential engineer classes. In 11th grade, we actually give you an opportunity to talk with engineers and then shadow them for a day in their workplace, so that you're developing some skills, you're developing a network, and you're either confirming or denying whether or not you really do want to be an engineer. So no matter what path students choose when they leave us, no matter what career they're chasing, no matter what major they're going into in college, they will be making informed decisions, as opposed to just either blindly guessing or like throwing a dart at the wall and whatever it lands on is what I'm gonna do or study or major in, or college that I'll go to. So just really helping them make those informed decisions through our career clusters. What's awesome about our pathways through the career clusters is that it's not a seal on a diploma, and it's not like money you shell out for a program. We didn't want those things to be so solid and concrete for students that they're locked in for 4 years. So there are on-ramps and off-ramps, because we all know that teenagers will change their minds about things 36 times over the course of their 4 years in high school. And we want them to change their minds now. We want them to explore as much as possible. We want them to be able to dive into their genius. I'll get into their genius in just a minute. So, yeah, we are intentional about that. We know that it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentionality. It happens on purpose, and it happens by design. And we've built that in, and we do that. So when I was talking about, I just mentioned the word genius, and when I was talking about seminar, I mentioned Fun Fridays. And I want to talk before, and I can't see the chat. So if you're dropping questions, I don't know why I'm not able to see the chat here. Maybe what I'll do, give me 1 second. I'm going to go on YouTube on my phone, and I'm going to watch the live broadcast. So maybe I can see the live chat here. I got to make sure I turn it down though, because that would be kind of awkward. Oh, here we go. All right. Volume is working now. All right, good. Okay, so I'm gonna watch the chat on my phone. I'm gonna try not to watch me because there's a delay, and that's really awkward. Anyways, so let's get to the Fun Friday. So each Friday during the seminar period of time, not all of the Fridays, but almost all of the Fridays, we've got 4 different structures to engage our students in their passion, in their interest, and specifically in their genius. So the Fridays will be structured, and we'll release the dates really soon, so you can see what they are. One of the structures is our academic club meetings. So 4 times during the school year, our academic clubs will meet during the school day. What's beautiful about clubs meeting during the school day is, number one, we're tapping into what our student interests are. Number two, for students who are unable to stay after school for whatever reason, transportation, job, home obligation, they're at least going to be able to attend 4 of the meetings. For students who are involved in multiple clubs or in clubs and in sports, like a student wouldn't have to choose whether or not they go to their beta meeting or their field hockey game, because we've moved the beta meetings, 4 of the beta meetings during the school day, so that child could do the beta meeting and go to the field hockey game. That's extremely important to us. So academic club meetings is one of them. Another club meeting day is our student interest clubs. So those clubs that we've created here out of student interest, and we've got a bunch of those. And so we will meet 4 times a year during the school day. Same thing, given that opportunity. 6 times, here's structure number 3, and that's our student leadership development. 6 times during the year on a fun Friday, our leaders will come together, our leadership groups, like our night mentors, our seminar peer leaders, our captain's council. We've got a bunch of different student leadership groups. They'll come together 6 times a year to develop their leadership skills, and that's on a fun Friday. And then the last structure for Fun Friday is Genius Hour. And we're going to run 7 Genius Hours this year. And a Genius Hour is really, it's not actually an hour, it's about 40 minutes. Students get the opportunity to either engage in their genius, to teach somebody else about their genius, or to learn about somebody else's genius. So what we do is we solicit who wants to host a Genius Hour. We give it to students, faculty, staff, parents, family members, community members, and we create a catalog every time we run a Genius Hour, and students get to choose which Genius Hour they want to go to. And for 40 minutes, they get to engage in that. And that'll be 7 times a year. So allowing them to tap into their genius, it all comes back to that every night, every day. Tap into their genius, tap into their passion, and give them structured time during the school day to actually get to engage in that, which is pretty cool, which is pretty special. So that's the Fun Friday setup. And not every student engages in those, right? Not every student belongs to an academic club. Not every student belongs to a student interest club. Not every student is part of a student leadership group. And not every student is going to find the Genius Hour that they want to go to or do. And so what we've done on Fun Fridays is we've purchased a ton of different games that students can play in their seminar. So students who are staying in their seminar for that chunk of time, instead of going out to a Genius Hour or a club meeting or student leadership group, will get to engage in games, so that we're still having some kind of fun. We want to create that environment where students are coming into, like rushing into, as opposed to running away from. So that's the skinny on Thomasdale for our new parents who wanted to get to know a little bit about Thomasdale and what type of school you're sending your hopes and dreams to, because we know that your child represents your hopes and dreams. The last thing that I want to talk about is really, and I'm going to be monitoring the chat. So if you want to start loading your questions in the live chat, I'll be monitoring it here. Uh-oh, I clicked the learn more button. That was a mistake. All right, I'm back. These are the things that are on my mind for 21-22. And so I got 3 things on my mind, and these are the things that I want to make sure I talk about. Number 1, we as a school and a school community have to be intentional about healing from collective trauma. So the past 18 months of our lives have been overwhelmingly stressful. And for the first time in a long time, our full school community and student body will be coming into school. And we all experienced a traumatic 18 months. Everyone experienced it differently. It looked different through everyone's eyes, but it was a collective trauma that we have to heal from. So we need to be very intentional about how we check in with each other and continuously make sure that we are well and that we're okay. And if we're not okay, it's okay to be not okay, but we've got to have a plan. We've got to be intentional about that. And we do that through building relationships, establishing community, getting those connections going, creating an environment for inclusion and belonging, creating an environment with access and opportunity, with restoration and healing, with relationships and connection. I know I said that, but like that's the most important thing. But the first thing that's on my mind is healing from collective trauma. The next thing that is on my mind is that all of us have to get used to doing school again. So that reentry into norms, procedures, routines, expectations, really helping everyone, our teachers, our faculty, our staff, support staff, our students, and our families, reminding everyone what it's like to follow some rules and to do school again, and to do that in a way that's healthy, and from a positive lens. Like, these are the things that you can do, as opposed to stop, no, don't. So we've been intentional about how we re-enter into school. The two examples I use is for some of our students, they haven't been in school in 18 months. And in those 18 months, they haven't had to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. So for the first time in a very long time, some of our students will be asking to go to the bathroom. And the phones, it's been a long time since some of our students have been asked to put their phone away. So we recognize that. So we've got to take some time to be intentional about, getting used to being in school again. And then the third thing is, as difficult and traumatic and horrible as the past 18 months have been, specifically around the pandemic, there were some great learning points for educators that came out of that. And the thing that I want to make sure that we hold on to is the good stuff that came out of that. Our tremendous focus on knowing our kids and really hearing their story and building those relationships and connection, and then using that as information to help us educate them. And the ability to leverage different modes of teaching so that we can differentiate and personalize the learning experience for our students. Before the pandemic, if we created learning experiences that aimed for the middle, we kind of missed everybody, because students come to us with all kinds of different things, especially readiness levels. Because of the pandemic, it's created even greater gaps from the middle. Our leaders have called it, teaching to the edges. Students who are raring to go and students who are going to need some serious support academically. And so what the pandemic has taught us is how to not aim for the middle, because if we were missing everyone by aiming for the middle before, it's an even wider gap. So really being able to harness what we've learned from the pandemic to meet those needs on both sides, to challenge kids who are ready and really, really challenge them, and to support students who are going to need some help with their academic adventure. So I'm going to go to the chat now to see what questions are put here. Boom. All right. Hey, Ashley Trent, good morning. Yeah, this was the breakdown of the information. In this weekend's message to you, I will include the slides in both English and Spanish that I used during those presentations. But the information that I just covered with you is what we talked about. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So will freshmen have an orientation? The first day of school is actually 9th grade only, and that's their orientation day. We don't even have them scheduled to go to their class on the 23rd for their 9th graders. They're going to report to seminar, and we've built a full day with our night mentors and their seminar teacher to really have an orientation, to take a tour of the West Campus, and our 9th grade students who are in the specialty center over here at Main Campus, same thing. So our orientation day will be August 23rd. We're going to end in a pep rally. I just need to double check to make sure that I can bring 600 students in masks into the gym to have that pep rally. The second day of school will be all students. And that's the day that they're actually going to go to every single one of their classes. So on the first day of school is orientation, what it means to be a knight, taking a tour of the building, finding where their classes are, actually getting to walk their schedule a little bit. And then the second day of school is another orientation type day, but they'll get to go to all 8 of their classes. They have 7 academic classes, and their 8th class is actually their seminar class. So We've built in a really good 2-day program to help our students get acclimated and oriented to the building and to school. Will there be an open house / orientation before school starts for freshmen? So Cheryl Buckingham, no, I just answered that question about how we handle that orientation and open house for them. Ashley Trent, I noticed there's no supply list for high school. What supplies should we focus on purchasing? That's a great question. I would start with just the basics, maybe like an even day binder and an odd day binder and some loose leaf paper, pens and pencils. Don't focus on purchasing much. There are some basic supplies that you'll need. Maybe your child prefers a notebook. But on the first 2 or 3 days of school, your child's teachers will be sharing their class and their course expectations sheet, and they will all have their supply list, their material requirements. Because your child has 7 academic classes, it's virtually, I won't say it's impossible, but it's extremely difficult. It's obviously a lot easier in elementary school, and it gets a little bit more difficult, but still doable in middle school because they're still clumped by grades. But even in 9th grade, the students take different sciences, they take different maths, they take a couple of different social studies. So buy the basics that make your child comfortable. I mean, if your child likes a paper copy of a planner, we don't do hard copy planners. There's a planner feature in Canvas that's extremely effective for students. So we try to help them understand how to use that. But some people still like that paper agenda, that paper planner, and we do not provide that. So if you like a planner, or if there's a special type of pen, like my favorite pen is this. So I always, if I'm running low on pens, I get a box of pens. I like writing in notebooks. So when I run out of a notebook, I buy a new notebook. But that's me, right? And everything else is done on my laptop. Every child has a Chromebook, so a lot of things are going to be done in the Chromebook. So just the basic bare necessities, maybe even some comfort items that, hey, my child really likes these graphite pencils. I'm going to buy them, so don't invest too much in the supplies yet. Wait until you get your supply list from your child's specific teacher. Kylan, what's up, buddy? Good morning. I hope you're well, man. I hope you're well. I forget where you went to school. I don't know why. I can't remember that. I know. But good luck. Good luck. You probably start classes right around the same time we start classes too, because we're starting early this year. But Kylan, good morning, man. It's good to see you. All right, Ashley Trent, great question about fees. When are fees due? Once schedules are released. So in the ultimate guide that I updated and shared with you on Sunday at 3 o'clock, you'll get my messages on Sundays at 3. If you don't get a message from me on Sunday at 3, it's not, it's just because I didn't send one. Like I think I sent one 3 weeks ago, and then I skipped a week. There wasn't anything new to share with you, and then I sent it again Sunday. Once school starts, it'll be pretty consistent. Every Sunday at 3, you can expect that. But the ultimate guide is our newsletter. And I don't change newsletters anymore. The pandemic has shown me more effective ways to communicate with you all. So once you have that ultimate guide, you can actually bookmark that site and keep an eye on it. I will always tell you when I'll give you an updated date so you know which one is the most, so if you're looking at a recent thing, and I'll move all new information to the top and I'll mark it as new. If there's old information that's updated, I'll move that up as well. And I'll put a thing that says updated. So you know what information is new and what information is updated. And when information is no longer pertinent, I take it out. So if you see repeat information, it's because it's important information, but it's not new and it's not updated. So Ashley Trent, I said that to say, get into that ultimate guide, bookmark that. But the way fees are going to work, you can pay them online starting right now. But when it comes to course fees for academic classes, we are not collecting fees. We've structured our budget to pay for those things. So like art, there is no fee for art to pay for paintbrushes and paint and canvases. I'm going to pay for those things. The CTE classes, goggles for biology, a lock fee for PE. I'm going to take care of all those things. So the only academic fee that your child has to pay is if they're enrolled in a dual enrollment class through John Tyler, and that's because it's tuition. I can't cover every kid's tuition when they take a dual enrollment class. That is a fee that has to be paid that's academic. All other non-academic extracurricular things will come with a fee. So for instance, every child has a class due. I think the 9th grade class due is, I think it's $10. I think then it's 15, then it's 20 and 25 or something like that. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Yeah, I think it's 10, 15, 20, 25. So as they get older, it's $5, $5 more. So you pay $10 in 9th grade, $15 in 10th grade, $20 in 11th grade, $25 in 12th grade. So those fees are posted. I've linked that in the ultimate guide because you can pay all fees online. You can pay online, or you can wait till school starts and then pay those fees. It's class dues, things that are extracurricular, like if your child is part of a club and there's a club due, they got to pay that. That's an extracurricular non-academic fee. But we are covering all academic course fees that have had to be paid in the past. We're covering those with the exception of tuition for John Tyler through the dual enrollment classes. All right. Yeah. So Ashley Trent, if you send me an email, I'll connect you with the person who can make sure that your email gets on that. We use a program called School Messenger, and it pulls directly from what you have in Parent View. So if your email in Parent View is wrong, then it's not going to go to the right place. So I'd say the first thing is get them in Parent View and check your email address and make sure that that's correct. And then if that's correct and it's still not working, send me an email and I'll connect you with the person who can get that fixed. Cheryl Buckingham, will there be fall and spring sports? Yes, absolutely. Fall sports are in full effect. Our fall teams are practicing. Our band is here during band camp. I went to see field hockey. I went to see cross country. I went to see band. Haven't been out to see football yet, but they're scrimmaging at 9 a.m. this morning against Highland Springs. So they'll be actually playing a scrimmage in our stadium this morning at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to go out there and check them out. So yes, all sports, we're a go. How do we access the activity bus schedules? So T, I'm assuming you mean the specialty center activity bus. That's the only activity bus that is that we offer. If that's the bus you're talking about, I'll ask you to send me an email. I'll connect you with Mr. Barrick. Unless you already have Mr. Barrick's contact information, you can reach out directly to him. He'll give you that information. I don't remember the time. I think the activity bus leaves here at 5:30 maybe, but I could be lying. And I don't want to give out bad information. So you can either email me directly and I'll connect you with Mr. Barrick, or if you have Mr. Barrick's contact information, you can contact him directly about the activity bus schedule. If you're talking about anything other than specialty center activity bus, we don't have that. Yeah. All right. It looks like I'm caught up to the questions. Let's go. Good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're here live, maybe you're sipping your coffee or you're enjoying sunrise. Has the sun already? Yeah, it looks like it looks like you could see the light peeking through my window back there. But anyways, good morning. Thank you for joining me. If you're live, if you're watching this later, hello. Thank you for watching our YouTube stream and this YouTube video update. I'm in the past I've done Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all three platforms live. I want to consolidate everything to YouTube for a couple of reasons. I'm actually hoping that we can use YouTube as a fundraiser. I'm working with some central office folks on monetizing YouTube, on whether or not we're allowed to do that. And if we are, what kind of parameters we got to put around that. But it's based on number of subscribers and public watch hours. So if I push everything to YouTube, we can make YouTube a fundraiser where you don't have to give any money. You just, watch our YouTube videos or click on the YouTube video. You can even have it in the background. But that's what's on the horizon. And that's why I wanted to start pushing all of our folks to YouTube, so that we can keep our watch hours up and get our subscribers up as well, so that if we're able to use YouTube monetization as a fundraiser, then we can really help the school without you having to give money, which is actually pretty cool. All right. Good morning to everyone. If you've got some questions, this is the place to drop them. Drop your questions, please. It's looking pretty good. I'll spend a couple more minutes on here. I think I've pretty much shared what I needed to share. I think, we learned last night that we will be wearing masks when we come to school. We're still not certain on the distancing, but I think regardless of what that outcome is, I think, I've made up my mind of what we need to do to keep everyone safe. I'm so excited that our students are coming into the building. Our students have missed their energy. I've missed how funny they are. I've even missed their teenagedness, if you know what I mean by that. It's what makes my job special is the kids. So I'm excited. All of our summers were 2 weeks shorter this year, which we're feeling a little bit, but we've made the adjustment. We've got some more T's to cross and I's to dot. I've got a lot of communication I need to put out, so there'll be a lot of information coming from me through that ultimate guide and through that email, and especially through social media. So definitely pay attention and stay with that. And as always, if you need anything or you have a question, every single one of you knows how to get in touch with me. Hopefully you should by now. Everyone in Chester has my cell number. I'm a simple email away. If you don't know my email address, you can just reply to one of the emails you've gotten from me, or go to our website and click on my name. My email is linked. My email address is linked to that. All right, here we go. We have some questions. What about lunch? Has a decision been made on distancing for lunch? Shalonda 411, no, not fully, but I think I've made up my mind regardless of what we will or will not be allowed to do. And I'll communicate that. I want to make sure that I talk with our leadership team first and talk with our faculty before I, kind of publish that out. Lisa, how will quarantine work? Will there be e-learning for students at home? That's a great question. If any student has to miss, we're still using Canvas as a learning management system. So our teachers will be loading their assignments in Canvas. We'll be using Canvas to have that information. Your child will be able to access course materials. I mean, it's the same as if they're, before COVID. Before COVID, your child had to wait until they came back to school to get a large packet of what they were missing, or the parent would have to come up to school to get a packet that the counselor prepared. Now it's all on Canvas, so your child can stay up with those assignments. The only thing that I will not promise is your child getting live instruction while they're out. That is something that I cannot do. And that was, concurrent teaching, what we did last year, having our teachers teach students at the same time at home on the Google Meet and live in person in the classroom. That's not something that I'm going to ask our teachers to do. So if your child has to be out, the materials will be in Canvas, and when he or she comes back, then obviously there'll be that opportunity to work and catch up. But I will not ask teachers to teach to two audiences live simultaneously. All right, looking like I answered questions. Maybe I'll give it another minute. If you've got a question, please drop it in the live chat. So that I can make sure that I'm answering. That's the purpose of this. I wanted to share a little bit of information, especially for our new parents, and then to answer any questions you might have in the moment. If you do have a question, you know how to get in touch with me. All right, it is now 7:46. I'm going to get my mind right for the rest of my day. I've got a jam-packed schedule, and I love that. I'll be right back here, maybe not here in my office. I'm going to make sure that I get home, but I'll be right back here on YouTube live at 7 o'clock tonight. If you have friends that missed it, or if you wanted to ask a question you didn't get to ask, join me at 7 o'clock tonight, and we're going to run it back. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's going to be an awesome, awesome school year. no matter what shakes out, we're going to be awesome. We are well positioned. We're an amazing school with amazing people, and we're going to do great things. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Peace.